Well, here we are. We are down the Cheezehole, back for another episode, although a little different today.
Yeah, a little different look today. We are without
a better look.
I don't know about that, but we are without a staple of Down the Cheezehole. Our founder, our captain, Jeff Bruss.
Yeah, so Jeff's gone. Mm-hmm. Karen's gone today.
Yep.
We lost power and internet a few times today.
Yep.
So it's on the fritz.
But Andy and I talked, and we decided the show must go on.
Yes.
You know, we have to persevere, and we have something cool lined up today.
We do. Yeah. Yep. And Tim, I noticed we even wore matching shirts today.
I know.
Tim,
it's like we were on the same page before we even realized.
For the occasion.
I didn't get the memo. Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Eric is here filling in for Jeff.
Yep.
So you may be thinking, well, with all that stuff missing, why should I even bother listening to this episode? Well, because, Tim, if you know that the train is going to go off the rails, you're going to hang around and watch and see when exactly that happens.
Quite the analogy, but yeah, I agree. I agree.
So the reason that we are doing the podcast today is because I had lined up an interview last week with Taylor Amon, who is the American Ninja Warrior.
Yes.
From Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And I lined up an interview with her to do today, which is our normal podcast day, and then Jeff came in and said he wasn't coming in.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is a cool interview. I'm excited about this one. I feel like this is high profile for Cheezehole.
Yeah.
We have Taylor Amon, who is a regular on the show American Ninja Warrior, and for those who haven't seen it, it's a pretty popular TV show.
Yep.
Basically, these tremendous athletes go through obstacle courses that test pretty much all the physical strength the human body can harness, and they have to advance through this, qualifying rounds, semifinals, and the ultimate goal is to make it to the championship. Correct?
Yep. So she's from Heartland. Went to Arrowhead High School. She was big in gymnastics, then kind of switched over to track and field and did the pole vault. Mm-hmm. Went to UW-Madison, was a pole vaulter for the Badgers. She holds their indoor school record. She's a 3-time Big Ten champion, 2-time All-American.
So she's good.
She's good.
Yeah, she's real good.
She's a good athlete, yep. In 2016, she was on the college edition of Team Ninja Warrior.
It was Team Ninja Warrior.
Yep, Wisconsin won it.
Yeah. Yep.
Team Wisconsin for the win. And then she came back to do it as a solo in 2019 on season 11. She was there for season 12, and now she's back for season 13 as a semifinalist.
Yep.
So I'm going to give her a call.
Okay. And while Andy's calling her, I believe that, we'll have to ask her, but I'm not really sure how they record these episodes, if it's already done and she knows how she did. I'm not sure.
I think they do.
Hi, Taylor. How are you?
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. So we got you here. We're doing this interview. We actually have a nice cardboard cutout of your face here, so it's like you're right here with us.
Life size.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
Yep.
I love that.
All right, so you are, well, obviously you know Andy because he went through the work and set this up. I'm Tim, and you'll be talking to me as well. And then we have Eric over here.
Hi.
All right. Hello.
All right, so this is pretty cool. We feel like we've already kind of introduced you on the show. We gave a little bit of your background, where you're from, and your achievements at UW-Madison. We feel like you're kind of a more high-profile person than we've usually had on the show, which is exciting for us.
So my first question is you made it to the semifinals. Now, these aren't live competitions. Is this season already done and recorded, and you know how you did, and all of America just needs to wait and find out?
Yes. So we filmed everything in March and April.
Okay.
So everything's all already done. So I think semifinals, my episode will be airing in about a month.
Okay.
We're not sure exactly right now because of the Olympics, they had to push it out a little bit.
Oh,
but
sure.
Okay.
Should be sometime in the next month or so.
Sure. Is that really hard, knowing what happened and not being able to tell anyone? Because I would struggle severely with that.
It is very difficult.
Can you tell family?
Especially like close family and friends.
Yeah.
Like, I usually tell my family, obviously, but
Right.
You can't tell a lot of people. So it's definitely difficult. But
Yeah, I would
some people
struggle.
know because I'll keep training or I'll have to miss work, so they kind
Sure.
of figure that I might have made it on.
Sure. Yeah, I know for a fact I would struggle with that.
Keeping it under wraps.
Yeah, big time. I've always been curious because I've watched the show for a lot of seasons, just off and on, and I've always what is the behind the scenes like there? There's people everywhere. I mean, are the competitors friendly, or is it cutthroat?
Yeah, the competitors are actually very friendly. I think the women are a little bit more competitive towards one another, but overall, everyone's pretty friendly. It's been very different since COVID, though. Groups are a lot smaller. They're taking less contestants, and also we're very spread out, and we're not supposed to really hang out with one another too much.
Sure.
But prior to COVID, I think the community is really, really close and really supportive.
Yeah, because I've seen it's what they air and what actually happens are two totally different things. But you always see I've seen the groups of competitors that work together and they're cheering each other on, and then before someone goes, they're kind of giving strategy if they already went through it, and I feel like that would be a huge help.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So probably a more common question, but what is your training schedule like?
Yeah, so I usually lift about 2 or 3 days per week. So just kind of switching off upper body and lower body and some cardio. And then 2 or 3 days I try and get to a ninja gym. But so I live in the suburbs of Milwaukee, and there's not many gyms around here. So I've been traveling to Chicago or Green Bay like every other day.
Wow.
Prior to filming for this season, now I've taken a little bit of a break because that's got to be a lot.
Yeah.
But I tried to get to ninja gyms like 2 or 3 days a week.
Sure. So 2016, you're in college, you go with some friends, and you guys win. How did this start, and is that what kind of kickstart your solo career in the ninja world?
Yeah, that's where it all began. So I was a pole vaulter at Wisconsin, and 2 random guys at the time, I didn't know either of them. I knew of one of them through a friend, but didn't know them that well at all. They reached out. They were looking for a female athlete to join their team. They wanted someone athletic, so they found me. I had no idea. I've never watched the show before. I knew about it, but I've never trained for it, never really watched it. But totally was up for the opportunity. I'm like, why not? Like, this will be a fun experience.
Yeah.
So we flew out there and won the whole competition, which was just unreal.
Yeah.
It was awesome. I mean, I didn't even touch the water once, which was incredible. So we won that, and then I actually met my ex-boyfriend now. At the time, we met filming for that. So he was on the Ohio State team.
Okay. Oh wow, the enemy.
Yeah, so we met filming, and then we started dating, and then 2 years later, the show found out we were dating. They wanted our meet cute story, so they asked us both back on for season 11.
Okay.
So yeah, you were back in. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. What were you saying?
Well, I was going to say, so then you were on season 11 and then 12, and now so this is season 13.
Yes.
How many more years you got in you?
I mean, I'm still going strong. I feel like I have at least a few more years. I feel like I'm still at peak performance, so we'll see.
Good.
Yeah.
Life outside of a Ninja Warrior. What are your other hobbies? What are the things that you do when you're not training or competing?
Yeah, so I work full-time for Northwestern Mutual. I'm in marketing and planning. I'm also a wedding and engagement photographer, so I love doing that. I have a bunch of weddings coming up next month. I love water sports, so surfing and wakeboarding.
Now, do you surf on Lake Michigan?
What'd you say?
Have you ever surfed on Lake Michigan?
I have not.
Because in our last podcast, we were talking about some people that are from Sheboygan that do the Great Lakes surfing and how they were all just jacked up for the surfing being the Olympics.
Yeah, it looks fun, but
yeah,
I'll have to try that someday.
Yeah.
So you have done lots of different things because you started with gymnastics when you were young, moved into track and field. Now you're doing the Ninja Warrior stuff. So when that chapter comes to a close, do you have the next thing in mind?
I don't yet, and my whole life I haven't had the next thing in mind, but the opportunity just always presents itself. So
Awesome.
to be determined on that.
Yep.
But I'm excited to see what is next.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Obstacles. I'm curious about these because I've watched enough episodes. They're always changing. How do you prepare for the ever-changing obstacles, and do you have favorites and least favorites?
Yeah, you can't really prepare because they are always changing them each season and each episode.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the first steps are always the same. I mean, they change them every 3 or 4 years, but
Yep.
the first steps, they're always some type of, there's 5 steps. So those you can kind of just, you can make mock steps at gyms
Sure.
pretty easily. And the warped wall is always there. But the other ones, I mean, gyms kind of come up with new obstacles all the time too.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there's no real way to prepare. You don't really know
Yeah.
what you're going to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, my favorite obstacle is definitely the warped wall because it's the easiest for me.
Cool.
I know I can do it every time.
Awesome.
The
And a
other
lot of
ones,
people struggle with
not
that.
sure.
Yeah. I noticed your salmon ladder technique. You kind of do it different than others. You kind of go on one side then the other, and you alternate coming back up. Well, you did. I think that was 2019. I don't know. What made you decide to do that? Did you just go into it blind, or did you actually have that thought out in your head?
So the first time I've completed the salmon ladder was on the show.
Okay.
Was actually competing.
That's impressive.
I was always terrified of it because the gym I trained at in Madison when I was there, this guy he built a gym in his basement,
Mm-hmm.
and so it was above concrete, and the bar wasn't strapped on anything, so it was just a free bar.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
So every time I'd try it, I'd hit my head on it, so I would just be afraid of it.
Yeah.
So the first time I actually completed it was on the show.
Oh.
Well, the right time.
So I
Yeah.
don't really have a technique. I just do whatever happens.
Just get it done. Yep.
Yes, I just get it done.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's
Yeah.
I think we
Any other interesting tidbits before we let you get on with your day? This is just fascinating to me.
Like about the show or?
Yeah. It's okay. You don't have to.
yeah, you can-
Don't want to put you on the spot, but
I don't know. I'm trying
Yeah.
to think of something, but
Well, we appreciate you giving us the time and giving us an interview.
yeah.
yeah,
Even-
thank you so much.
Even
for
though it's
calling.
already done and we don't know how it ends, so we wish you luck.
Yeah, I guess.
in the
Thank you.
And we will pay attention and see how you do. And maybe, well, if you're doing this next year, maybe we'll catch up again and see how training's going.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you guys so much.
All right,
Oh,
thanks a
and
lot.
What before we go, put in a plug for your photography business.
Oh, yeah.
All right, yeah. Hit me up on Instagram or my website, tayloralman.com. You can find questionnaires for my photography. I'd love to capture a big day.
Awesome.
All right.
You've done that before.
All right. Thank you. Thanks very much, Taylor.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, you too.
Bye.
Bye.
So, if people haven't seen the show, I highly recommend you just watch an episode or two because, like, the things she's talking about that she's doing, it's insanely impressive from an athletic standpoint.
So you mentioned salmon bar.
Salmon
which
ladder,
For those
yep.
people, salmon ladder. Yeah.
Yep.
For those people that aren't familiar, it is essentially, picture a pull-up bar.
Yep.
But the bar is not affixed to anything. It's kind of hanging in some slots, and
like
you have
in
to.
pegs, I guess.
Yeah. And you have to kind of like jump and move that bar up and take it with you
Yes.
up to a next slot.
So you're
And
climbing a ladder, but you're carrying
Yes.
the bar that you're holding on to.
you carry the rungs with you.
Yes.
Right? Yep.
So it's one of those obstacles on the show that get a lot of people out. It's pure upper body strength to be able to pull up yourself that fast
Yeah.
and move
Well,
the bar up.
The bar's got to weigh something too to be able
Yeah,
to hold your
for
weight.
sure.
So that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah, pretty cool.
So
Nice
not only we got the American Ninja Warrior stuff going on, in similar fashion down in Madison coming up, I believe it's this weekend, is the CrossFit Games down in Madison.
Yeah, CrossFit Games are coming up, and it's going to be a hot one.
How hot is it?
Well, I don't know. I haven't checked the weather in Madison. But up here, we're looking at upper 70s, low 80s. So that's it's warm. It's that gosh darn humidity, you know?
Yeah, it's not the heat that'll get you. So, yeah, it's 600 athletes from countries all over the world coming to determine who's the fittest on Earth. And how? Yeah, so what are they saying? Oh, temperature's over 90, they're saying.
90 degrees, yeah. So it kicks off Wednesday. Most events will take place indoors, though, so at least they won't have to battle the heat. But a lot of the events are outside. Excellent.
Well, we have plenty of good sports stuff going on in Wisconsin, in addition to our...
Yeah, Karen came back.
Yeah, in addition to our Ninja Warrior and our CrossFit Games, we got Aaron Rodgers back. Well, kind of. I mean...
Karen showed up for training camp today.
He landed. He's here.
The rumor on the streets are that he basically settled a contract. Eric, you probably know more about this than me, but basically his old contract said he'd play through 2023, but this new one is he's one and done now. One more year. Is that correct?
That's what I understand.
It's a one more year, and then I will see.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you guys are good to me this year, maybe.
And some other concessions that we may never hear about.
Yeah.
What do you think of the deal, Eric? He is Karen, is he not?
Yeah, and at this point, it's like I'm indifferent. You know, like it's like I kind of was like ready for Jordan Love.
Yeah, me too. I'll see how he plays and how his heart is into it this year before I make an opinion.
Yeah.
But
Well, I'll tell you who I am happy with. The Milwaukee Bucks. Last time I talked to, we were heading into Game 6.
Yeah.
Game 6.
Yep.
And then they won it that night.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
That
First
was
time
just
in
so cool
50
to watch.
years.
Yeah.
It's the most basketball I've ever watched in my life.
I agree. Me too.
Is the whole playoffs, but it was a good run.
It was.
It was, that was awesome. So they had the parade this last week, a couple days ago maybe. So
Big turnout for that.
Yeah. Well, and then they said that, so they were talking about the Deer District during Game 6, and they originally said that they kind of made room for like 65,000. We were talking how that was bigger than most Wisconsin cities. And then it said that after the fact, police estimated that not 60,000, but 100,000
That is
people
insane.
jammed into the Deer District on
I'm
Tuesday
not
night.
surprised.
That is insane.
You know, and I'm biased because I only see Wisconsin sports from a Wisconsin's perspective, but I mean, our fan base for all sports, it blows me away.
We go hard for sure.
We do. We get very proud of our team.
I honestly don't think you would see that for another team. You know, like let's say the Brooklyn Nets would have went. You're not gonna. There's not that loyalty. I don't think in a place like Brooklyn.
Yeah, it's cool, and a good team to do it. Seems like we got good down to earth people that are winning it, and the way they won is it's pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah. You know what's not cool though, Andy?
What? Oh, what's
getting
not
stabbed?
Cool? Not especially. What do you mean getting stabbed?
Well, we had another bar stabbing. I feel like we get to these too often.
I'm surprised at how many stabbings there are. Yeah.
I didn't know that. But 2 were stabbed at a Hayward bar. The good news is the suspect that did the stabbing has been arrested. But the Moccasin Bar up on U.S. Highway 63 around 2 a.m. So could see
2 a.m.
Could see what happened here. But a fight broke out. Suspect pulled out a knife, stabbed someone. He ran outside and stabbed another person in the back.
Yeah.
Which that one I don't understand. Because he's fighting inside. He stabbed the person he's fighting with. What was the outside stabbing about?
Just for good measure. Yeah, no, the story is weird. Yeah, witnesses say a fight broke out and a man was asked to leave the bar. Well, it's time to close anyway, so yeah, get out. Well, he wasn't happy about being asked to leave at 2 a.m. and stabbed one, and on the way out,
he made it home though. He got arrested in his home.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Ooh, jeez.
So he sat there and thought about his actions for a while, and then the police came and got him.
Wow, the police they're really slow on that one.
It's 2 a.m.
Yeah, they got rounds to make.
Yeah.
Yep. Stabbed a guy in the back. You ever been stabbed in the back, Eric?
Many times.
Amongst other crime, we had a 2-county chase through Port Edwards. I believe.
Port Edwards, that's like by Rapids, right?
Yeah, I went through Wood County, and so police got called in Port Edwards to a driver passed out behind the wheel, and they rolled up on him, and he took off, and then they chased him through 2 counties.
Passed out. Gotcha.
I thought cops aren't supposed to engage like that in police chases anymore because it can cause so much damage down the.
I don't know.
You can't just let the guy
through 2 counties.
Yeah, I know. You can't let him.
Right, but
But then, you see it in movies sometime when you get away from a cop or something and like you make it to the state line or something, then
Like in Porky's?
the cop's got to stop and they're like,
You're
oh,
thinking of Porky's.
we can't go any further. He got to the state line. It's not like that in the counties, I guess.
You're thinking of Porky's.
Am
aren't
I?
you? You are. That happens in that movie. That's okay.
So like
Out of my jurisdiction.
So like a Wood County sheriff can cross to Marathon County, still chasing him.
I guess, yeah. It sounds like they can keep going. So, the chase ended when the driver crashed on private property in Port Edwards, and he had 2 passengers with him, causing damage to both. Charged with OWI causing injury, fleeing an officer, possession of meth,
Of course.
recklessly endangering safety, carrying a concealed weapon, and multiple traffic citations.
That guy really filled the old gamut there, didn't he?
He checked off a lot of
Man,
boxes.
if you're going to do it good.
I guess so.
Yeah.
And there's one more crime thing that happened.
There is. This one's kind of, I don't know, I feel like this one's kind of sad. Like, well, I mean, it's...
Some of this is confusing also.
Yeah. So there was a guy in Kenosha
Yep.
that shot a 13-year-old girl. 13-year-old girl because he parked his running vehicle outside of a store. I'm not sure, convenience store or something.
Mobile station, yeah.
Mobile station. She jumped inside of his vehicle and tried to drive it away. So she was trying to steal his car, but he took out his concealed carry firearm and shot her.
Yeah, there's just a lot of bad judgment in this story.
There is. There's a lot of not good going on.
Right.
But basically, he got charged. He got criminally charged for reckless endangering safety and endangering safety with the reckless use of a firearm. His whole defense was he said that in his concealed carry course, they said that he could shoot someone that was stealing his stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, he was probably like, well,
is
what's
that true?
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, he was like, what's the point? What's the point of having concealed carry and carrying on his gun if I can't use it?
I feel like that kind of oversteps the bounds of what concealed carry's for.
Yeah, he wasn't in imminent danger.
Right.
No.
You know.
Right. But
I agree with that.
yeah. So
Yeah. So yeah, just a lot of bad judgment in that.
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
like
without
that-
bad judgment, we wouldn't have a podcast. So
Feels like we got a lot of.
Oh, that should be our motto. Yeah.
I feel like that general area, around Kenosha and Racine, we get a lot of bad
Yeah.
judgment calls.
The Mount Pleasant, we have
Yes.
a lot of those.
Right.
I feel like we have one more bad judgment story that I
Okay.
can think of offhand, and that's we talked about this before, but there was the DNR biologist that was selling sturgeon caviar.
Oh, yeah.
He real short, but he officially resigns from his position. Yeah.
So they must have got enough on him that he.
I'm assuming
that he
so.
wanted to bail.
He stepped down, and he really wouldn't talk about it. He just said it's a personal matter, and that's where he left it. But
Pleaded no contest in Calumet County. He also had the same charges in Winnebago County, lying to investigators, illegal possession of sturgeon eggs, and all sorts of stuff. So
yeah.
And he was like the sturgeon.
He was
the
like the
guy.
sturgeon expert. I mean, he was the Wisconsin biologist, but Wisconsin's population and research and everything behind sturgeon is national. I mean, it leads. So he was a big dude there.
So what the deal was, again, just they were doing research on sturgeon eggs, and then instead of discarding them, they were selling them?
There's constantly research on them, and a lot of times, like the DNR will harvest sturgeon eggs and harvest the milk to do fertilization. Help along with fertilization before releasing it back into the water, or help get populations going in other rivers and stuff. And he is pocketing some, selling it for caviar. So
Double dipping.
yep, NG, not good.
Well, if you're going looking for your sturgeon eggs, make sure you wear a life vest.
Yeah, yeah.
That's my segue of the day.
Yep.
So the DNR is reminding the public to wear life jackets because already this summer, 16 people have died in boating accidents. All last year we had 22, which was
Really?
high.
We had a month left.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, last summer more people were out, I think, on the
Yeah.
lakes than years
Yeah.
prior, just because there wasn't anything else to do but be outside.
I get it. I spend a lot of time on the water. It's an easy thing to overlook.
Yeah.
But you get on, especially up here, Three Lakes Chain. It is so busy. There are so many boats out there.
Yep.
Something can happen real quick.
Yep.
Real quick. Yeah. So wear your life jacket. Don't die.
Yep.
You know where you won't drown though? Western Wisconsin.
Oh, womp, 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 womp. Yeah. I didn't realize that a quarter of the state right now, 25%.
Well, it's all your neck of the woods too.
Yeah,
over
it is.
there.
It's all that side. Yeah, they're all going through moderate drought conditions. And it's true, too, because we were back there a couple weekends ago for the 4th and stuff like that, and it is crispy.
And that's farm country, isn't it? I
Yeah.
mean, that sucks.
Yeah. The corn seems to be doing all right. That seems to hold off your drought a little bit better, especially when you get a little bit of irrigation now and then. But like my mother-in-law's lawn, that looks that's a shade of brown that I've never seen before.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, does your family farm crops too, or just llamas?
So
I'm serious.
my parents, we have land that they rent out to crops. Otherwise, they do beef. Is there? The llamas are just for fun.
Well, yeah.
We don't milk those or.
Can you eat a llama?
Probably.
I bet you could. Why don't you eat llama like people eat llama?
I would bet that
It's
some
fine. It's
do.
just like a grain grazing animal like everything else, right?
Yep.
I would like a llama sandwich. I mean, seriously.
I'd try it.
Some sort of gyro, but llama. Yeah.
Could see it.
At least part of 32 of the state's 72 counties are in at least moderate drought conditions. 3% of the state is in severe drought. Polk County, Burnett County, and then down south, Grant, Kenosha, Lafayette, Racine, Rock, Walworth, parts of that. So basically all around the borders. So I don't know if that means like Minnesota, Illinois, Iowa are getting.
I wonder if they got rain last night. We did.
We got a lot last night. Yep. Yeah, our neck of the woods is just fine. So if you're looking for a little bit of moisture and want to cool off, come on over to our side of the state where the weather's fine.
Keep going. I'm trying to round up a substitute Karen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the only other kind of news story that I caught my attention was that there is still a $100,000 unclaimed lotto ticket out there in Wisconsin.
Why buy a lottery ticket if you're not going to check it?
And it expires on Friday.
It expires on Friday. Yeah,
I didn't know they expired.
I
thought you could just collect whenever.
It's the all or nothing Wisconsin lottery. $100,000 is going to expire on Friday, and it says so. They know where the ticket was purchased,
Right.
So,
You know that town is like advertising. Like if you bought a ticket, check the dang thing.
I mean, couldn't you, like, if it was a crime, they would be able to look at the surveillance and find out who it is and track them down. And
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe you can't do that. Maybe that's illegal. But like, if you knew that it was purchased at this gas station, and
If
the
I
drawing
won
was,
and I didn't know, I would want someone to track me down.
and the
in any
drawing was
way.
this day,
Yeah.
like, couldn't you see who was in there buying tickets? And,
Yeah.
That's if they kept, the video footage or even have the cameras.
Yeah.
This guy probably doesn't want to admit that he threw away the ticket.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. He didn't realize he won.
That thing's rolling down the sidewalk somewhere. He fell out of his pocket, and it's just a little crumpled up piece of crap now.
Went through the wash.
Oh, that'd be the worst.
Oh,
I have a substitute Karen coming down
okay.
right now.
All right. It's going to be hard to,
Well, I know
legitimately.
it's not actually Karen, but we're trying to make do with what we got here today, and it's 1 week. The viewers, the listeners, they'll just have to live with him, her.
And then watch our ratings just
plummet.
up.
Oh,
So Eric's thinking that in Jeff's absence and with this crew we got here, that things are going to take off, and Jeff's going to be out for good.
Jeff is he's just good at that in between banter and chat, that kind of segue stuff, and I feel like we're doing okay. But hey, Karen's here.
Karen.
So Karen has to line up at that
come
microphone over here.
Karen.
Here you go.
So
Bottom review there.
last week we were talking about the town of Lodi because that company in Lodi was making supplements made entirely out of breast milk.
Yeah, human breast milk.
Yeah.
No.
So we went to Lodi and we found the Spring Creek restaurant. 4.3 stars. Got a good chunk of reviews, but this review came in from a Karen.
Yep. And you got to get close to the microphone.
Yep. And what did this Karen have to say? And you're reading this on the spot. You didn't prepare like our other Karen.
How many reviews? Or what?
There wasn't a ton of 100 reviews.
Okay.
But this review was a while ago, so it's been around. It's been around Lodi.
Okay.
So
Go ahead, Karen.
yep, let's have it.
All right. I don't really like ranch dressing, but it was watered down so bad it wouldn't stick to the 11 onion rings we received for an appetizer. The only thing special about the $10 special was that there were gaps on my plate between my corn, tenderloin tips, and mashed taters. If you're 6 years old and want to finish your plate, this is the place to go. The guy actually said, "Well, it is only $10. It's sad when the driver of the vehicle is determined we go to Culver's after supper."
There are so many things to highlight here.
Well, thanks, Karen, for coming down
Thanks.
and
Appreciate that.
reading for us.
You filled in quite well.
Yeah. So this would have been a great one, number one, for Karen, actual Karen to read.
Yeah, she would have had the attitude.
And Jeff would have had a field day with this one.
Yes.
There is a lot to unpack here in this review.
The very start of it. I don't really like ranch dressing, but I'm going to judge it anyway.
Yeah, right.
You know? Oh, man.
And it was so watered down so bad. I've never had watered down ranch dressing,
No.
okay? But it was watered down so bad it wouldn't stick to my, and it's just every word is a complaint.
Right. 11 onion rings.
I don't like ranch dressing. It was watered down so bad it wouldn't stick to my 11 onion rings.
Why
Like,
are
does she-
Karens into counting and knowing the exact number? Last week it was exactly like 14
18
people.
Yeah. So the 11 onion rings, which apparently they weren't happy with that number.
No.
And then then they got a $10 special. She put the special in quotes.
My favorite line is, if you're 6 years old
Yeah.
and want to finish your plate, this is the place to go.
The only thing special about the $10 special is that there were gaps in the plate. Yep.
Some people have a problem if their food touches.
Yeah.
This Karen was pissed.
Yeah,
that there
she
was
wants her
separation.
food all intermingled. Yep. And the guy, she must have complained. The guy actually said, "Well, it's only $10. What are you expecting?"
What do you think?
And then to cap it all off, it wasn't good enough that the driver of the vehicle had to go to Culver's.
Which, okay, in Wisconsin, that's something you do anyway to go get ice cream.
True.
Or custard.
True.
Custard.
I'd like to think that the Spring Creek restaurant had some sort of dessert they could have had.
Yeah.
But they were just getting out of there, and they wanted to go have a Butterburger.
Well, that Spring Creek Sunday was going to be watered to nothing. You know it.
Topped with ranch dressing
Ew. Yeah.
and onion rings. So that's
That was a good one. That was a really good find.
I was happy with that. I wish Karen was here to share it with.
Eric, why don't you tell us about some events that we have coming up in Wisconsin?
Oh, you want me to tell you about the events?
Well, you haven't said
Oh.
anything today, so
I don't know much about these events, but
click on the link.
You know
dork.
about the first one.
Ooh.
That first one on the list.
the first one is the EAA in Oshkosh.
Yep, that's starting.
Coming back, started yesterday.
Yep. Have you ever been to that?
No, I have not. but
Have you
I've
ever been to
driven,
that?
Well, when I lived south of here, I lived in Princeton, which is 45 minutes drive. So I would see tons of air traffic where I live, but I'd never actually been to the event.
I have driven by it around that time.
Yep, it's busy.
It's crazy, yeah.
Yeah. In Oshkosh itself, just driving through there on a normal day.
I had a
is
friend
busy.
that lived in Oshkosh, really close to the airport, and he would rent out his house for that week and make a fortune.
Oh man,
Just
Probably
make bank on it.
rent for the rest of the year.
Yeah,
Or mortgage.
I'd like to go eventually.
yeah. I've heard it's awesome for the people that do go.
What else we got?
Ooh,
We've got Elkhorn Corn and Brat Days, and guess where that is?
I'm guessing Elkhorn.
You are correct.
So Elkhorn down in the southern part of the state, like almost to the border.
Yep.
What?
Yeah, it's pert near Illinois, isn't it?
Pert near, yeah. So artisans and crafters surround the square, so it's just kind of a craft festival. But they got the corn and the brats for days down there in Elkhorn.
That's a great combination, in my opinion. I really look forward to good corn this time of year, and you can always use a good brat.
You can bet it's like the roasted corn where they grill it
yeah.
and slather that butter and
Just dip it right into the
yeah,
butter.
yeah. And I don't know if it's pepper or whatever they put on that's got like the seasoning and they
I got to throw out a shout out for good corn because I know there's a lot of good corn in Wisconsin. There is a guy in Rhinelander, and he just calls himself the corn guy. Are you familiar with this dude?
Is he the one that's always parked, like on Lincoln Street?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah, we've had
so
it. Yeah.
good.
like
It's
over by the Hobby Lobby there. And,
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just really good. He calls himself the corn guy. So I don't know if you're listening to this, corn guy. I like it.
I got a shout out to the corn guy.
Yep.
And what else, Eric? What else is coming up?
Well, we got the Wienerfest.
I knew you'd pick that one.
I wonder about the Wienerfest
Okay,
South.
That's dude, me too.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
Okay, so this is in what the heck? Where? This is in Lakewood, which is in the middle of nowhere.
I've never heard of it.
I mean, Lakewood is.
Is it at least in the north?
It is.
Okay,
it is.
good.
It's. I mean, I could list all the towns around there.
Oh, it's in O'Connell
And anyone,
County.
yeah, and anyone else other than around here would have no idea where we're talking. You know, it's over by Mountain and Wabeno and White Lake over there. You know, I mean, just there's nothing over there. So, but there is Wienerfest.
I'm guessing they eat hot dogs.
I hope so.
Try some Meat Ski's famous wieners.
Entertainment for the kids was the next sentence. So, yeah, and it does make you wonder
It sure does.
where Wienerfest South is, that they had to label it how they did.
Never mind. I almost
Okay, all right, you were sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just about to say something inappropriate and stop myself. So
Well, if you don't want to go up to Lakewood, you can bike all around I don't want to. Okay.
You can try to say it. We don't know if we're saying this right.
Okay, I did. I came down here and I asked Tim, how do you pronounce this city, this town? Hubertus?
Yeah,
Or I feel
Hubertus.
bad when I don't know the names of
Yeah.
these towns. So I went to, I Googled it,
How to pronounce it.
how to pronounce it, and this is what came up, which is frightening.
Hubertus, Wisconsin. Hubertus, Wisconsin. A great place to visit. Hubertus, Wisconsin.
Okay, so that's terrible.
It is. And I like how it's a great place to visit, but
Yeah.
not to live.
Hubertus was how they said it.
Where
Hubertus.
is it even?
That is down by kind of between Menominee Falls and
Milwaukee.
Okay, yeah.
and yeah, down in that area, Oconomowoc,
Well, they're having a
Hartford.
Cowalunga bike tour.
Yeah, so it's a big cycling thing, I guess. You just drive around the countryside, the rolling hills through northern Illinois, which I don't know why they put themselves through that, because I think the bikes even have to stop at the tolls there. And they go through southern Wisconsin. So cyclists of all ages and abilities, you can go from an 18-mile ride up to a 190-mile ride over 3 days.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
So biking all over.
Yeah.
I don't know why you'd go south of the border, though.
Do you bike?
Yeah.
I've seen you a couple times
Yeah,
after work.
yeah,
but
just for fun. I'm
Like
not-
road bike or mountain bike or?
The bike I have is kind of a hybrid. Do a little bit of both. I like both. I'm not crazy into each. I just do it for fun.
Like what's like if you go out on a weekend and say I'm gonna go for a bike ride, like how far do you go?
Oh boy. I probably go 6-7 miles.
Oh.
So nothing
Casual little ride.
Yes.
Type of,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Because I want to enjoy it.
That's if I'm gonna go biking. That's what I like to do too.
Yeah.
I want to do a short one. My wife goes like way too far. She's like 35
Ooh,
miles,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
I just
My wife goes out she's training for a triathlon coming up
Yeah.
down in Milwaukee.
Cool.
And she goes out for 20 milers and needs to go 20 miles an hour.
it's super impressive. Like I
Yeah.
like get bored. I don't know if that's like mean to say, but that's just me personally. Yeah.
Well, if cycling is too much of a strain for you, Eric, what else can you do this weekend?
You could do some tree climbing
Could you?
down in Waukesha.
Yeah, they made it some sort of an event where you can go and learn and maybe get hooked up to a harness. But really, you can climb trees anywhere you damn well please.
that there's trees.
Yep.
Right.
Not up here today.
Right.
Because they're all down.
they're all down.
on the road.
Yeah. No kidding. We had to climb a tree to get to work today.
Yep, we sure did.
Yeah.
Okay, well, just to recap, we had a wonderful interview with Taylor Amon, the Hartford native, who's now, she's done, but she's on television land. She's in the midst of a American Ninja Warrior run.
I highly recommend everyone tune in and support her.
Yep. It sounds like the next rounds are pushed out a little bit into August. I think the next episodes are the 19th, 16th, and 23rd.
Yep.
Assuming that they haven't changed the TV schedule too much. So cheer on Taylor. And how do we do okay without Jeff and without Karen?
Well, I'm sure he'll tell us.
Oh gosh, he's gonna say it's the worst episode we ever heard, and we got so much
Mostly
negative.
because I'm here.
Right. So if all you listeners out there, even if
Yes.
it's a lie,
Yep.
tell Jeff it was awesome.
Yep.
Tell him that you loved it. Yeah.
Best episode ever.
Yeah.
I think it was.
Yeah. Well, with that,
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
and good night.